Good evening. Welcome to the URT. Big up the URT. I'm going to skip all the formalities. Unfortunately, the man himself is not too well today. Get well soon, brother. That bloody flu's got him. But I'm going to skip all the formalities. We're a family here. You know me, I know you. So I'm doing this solo until one of the boys jumps on. Um, and let's start, man, with the team selection. So I have to say, guys, um, when I looked at the bench, there's only one name that we really know, and that was Zirkzee. Um, so in terms of the team that he picked, I thought it was nice. I liked it. What are your thoughts on the team selection that we started with? Um, it kind of picked itself. I think obviously you've got your midfield two. Yoro came back in and he pushed Dorgu further up, which I think, we've been crying for him to be, on the wing. So it was interesting to see what we'd get today from him. And I thought it worked. I thought that's one of Yoro's better performances today. He was up against a tough customer, as Structure was saying, of Okafore, I think his name was. Fast guy, persistent guy, determined guy. He got the better of Yoro a bit, but then Euro got a hold of things, and I think you know Dogu did well as well. So here we go. Let's get some comments in. Yeah, well, I'm going to come to Venezuela at the end of the show, but that is yeah, absolutely free Venezuela. Kadeen Thomas, he thinks the team did well based on who we had. I agree with that. I'm somebody that has bought into the fact that half the team is missing, and the half that's missing is probably the better half. Um, Ruben said that he thinks Ugarte is playing better. I don't know. I agree. I think Ugarte did play well today. I think today it was there wasn't that many bad performances. Um, Josh, Kliss, big up yourself. Thank you for the quotes, man. Um, I think Zirkzee, yeah, came on. He did change the game. He was excellent today. I thought he brought people into play. Some of his passing was good. Set up the goal. Took the sting out of things. And one of the things Josh is good at, man, he's good at bringing others into play. Um, Sheikh Arian, another Dalot fan there. Um, Mason Mount. Oh, maybe Mount and Bruno against Burnley. Oh, that's why Ben just left. He must have read that. Bruno's on the way back. 21 call. Um, I'm blaming his manager today. Right, Jamie Wayne, big up yourself. Jamie is not blaming the manager today. Look at the state of the bench. We agree, 100% we agree. Ben, is that you?
Yes. Good evening, Mumbai.
How are you, brother?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Loud,
Yes.
yeah, loud and clear in the midst of the Irish winds.
Yes, bro. It is absolutely snowing here. It's absolutely crazy here. The amount of snow we've had in the last 2 or 3 days, bro. I mean, I didn't get to see much of it because I was in the heart of Glasgow, over in Scotland with the missus. Uh, but yeah, man, it's crazy right now here over in Belfast. It's absolutely, I don't know how, it's so very slippy. The roads are very, very, very slippy. So anyone that has had snow across the UK, just take it easy out there on the roads and be safe.
Yeah, nicely said. It is bloody slippy out there. I'm driving very slow on the way home. We had some snow here in Manchester, but
Hmm.
we've had serious minus temperatures. I mean, I don't know if
Wow.
my phone was lying, but at 8 o'clock this morning it said -6. I'm just
Yes.
saying that's what my phone said, but it's definitely in the minuses. Where are you
Yeah.
joining us from? It sounds like you're outdoors.
Yeah, so I'm on my way, big up, man. I'm on my way. I'm on my way home back from work, bro. I just had to stay for a few hours for an extra shift, man, because obviously the guy he was covering me, he was coming for me for Scotland, so I'm basically paying back the favour for him. Like, so it all
Nice, good
works
man.
all out okay. So it does, man. But big up, man. Big up to the chat, man. Make sure you smash the likes, people. Big up to Nerden. Obviously, Nerden, I know you're unwell, man, but hope you feel better soon, man. Honestly, rest up, man. Rest up, man.
So Ben, why don't we start with what do you think of the team selection, man, and the way we set
Um,
up today?
I, yeah, I thought the team was it was confusing because I didn't like the fact Dorgu was right side of 10. I would rather if Dorgu went right wing back. I thought Dorgu played actually decent today. Second half, he kind of faded away after the 75th minute. He was just being a wee bit too wasteful. I didn't understand why the manager didn't start Zirkzee, but with the bench we have right now, I can understand that why he didn't want to start Zirkzee, because the bench we have is it's just full of youngsters and that. So, and it's only like realistically Malassi, that's the next really experienced player, bro. But I was kind of a wee bit, I wanted to be on board with the team, so I was like, right, let's see how we get on. And I thought Casemiro did well today. Aiden Heaven did well. And Dorgu, I think them three players stood out really, really well today. Another shout out to Le Mans too, by the way. He also did well. He kept us in the game, a few decent saves. But yeah, so obviously got it with the result, man. I think it did deserve to be a draw at the end. I don't think we deserved to win. They deserved to win. I don't think we tested their keeper out much. We had a few chances, like off target, but they weren't clinical, man. And yeah, so that's really my view, like, but yeah.
It's quite a bit, quite often a part of our story. Chances are there, but there's not the clinical stuff, and the key moment is not kind of happening, is it? I
Yeah,
think we had a couple
100%.
of those again, and the clinical moment, the one clinical moment that they have, they score.
100%, 100%.
Um,
And I've seen a lot of people getting on the Sesko today. Look, I thought Sesko was very poor today. He was poor. There was a few chances gifted to him. He should have
really,
opened his body a wee bit more. Look, he's getting the chances. This is what we want to see. We want to see more chances from our striker, but he's got to be more critical. But look, I'm not going to go too heavily on the kid, man, because he is only a kid. It's Zirkzee and Sesko leading the striker line of Man United. That there is just not good enough. Name me a club, Bombay and the chat. Name me a club that has two youngsters starting as the striker force for any club. Every
Man
club has
United.
an Every club has an experienced striker to learn off. If
Yeah,
Sesko, if Cavani was still here, if Ronaldo was still here, if Ibrahimovic was still here, they would help Sesko and Zirkzee so much, because they can learn off them. This is what the kids need. They need this. They need this sort of thing. But Sesko's got no one to learn off, and that's the big concern. And like I said, man, it all goes back to the board, to the owners, man, for not getting Amorim, or the club. Sorry, I don't want to say Amorim's players. The club didn't get another club signing for an experienced striker. Like Mateta was there. Mateta was there from Crystal Palace. Why did we not sign Mateta? It just doesn't make any sense, man. And like I said, man, I was at the Celtic game. Big up to the Green Brigade. Big up to
we got the
each and
Green
every
Brigade.
single
Yeah,
person that went to the. Big up to the Green Brigade. We went to the protest was at 10 in the morning, and we marched from the city of Glasgow right up to the Celtic Park, obviously, and there were so many fans. Bombay, it was absolutely mental. Plenty
Nuruddin
of
shared.
Palestine flags. It was absolutely beautiful, bro.
It looked beautiful. We all seen it.
Sorry.
Nuruddin shared all of the images and some of the videos from your day at the protest. It looked like the real deal, man. It looked mint. Absolutely big up to
Bro,
those guys.
Bombay,
Big up to the Green Brigade.
it was unbelievable, Bombay, and like
Mm.
now See, after the game as well, they were going to plan to do a riot. So the plan was to protest in the morning, share our thoughts, watch the game. We lost the game. It was a shambles, absolute shambles. The Rangers just dominated the whole game. After the game, the Celtic fans didn't leave to go back to their house, to their gaff, to their restaurant, to go out for tea or whatever. They sat outside that stadium by in 0 degrees, weather. It was absolutely freezing, and they protested. And there might have been a few riots. They've actually, well, I actually seen they actually damaged a shit ton of the Celtic store, the Celtic shop store in the stadium. They actually did some serious damage. Police were there, Bombay. I will not deny that police were there, but you know what, Bombay? There wasn't a few hundred Celtic fans. There wasn't a couple of hundred. There was thousands of Celtic fans. And the big thing is as well is when you have the police there, the police can only do so much to like so many people. They can't go after thousands and thousands of staff. And like I said, look, we don't want to see it, man. We do not want to see, any violence, any riot, or any of that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, in Bombay, them Celtic fans, these owners have only been in the job for nearly it's about to come 2 years very, very soon. And we've had owners for 20 fucking years, plus Sir Jim bringing down this club, man. Where does the line cross? Like, we have this chant called "We'll never die, we'll never die." We're Man United and all that sort of stuff, bro. We've died for so long, bro. The club is dead, bro. And I spoke to a few Celtic fans, and I said, look, guys, I'll be honest with you. I love Celtic. Celtic's like my second favorite club, but I'm a Man United fan. And every single one of them, Bombay, laughed at me, says, you lot are a fucking disgrace. And I said, it says, explain why. He says, how dare use any of me, you actually said to me, you actually, I thought I was about to get smacked in the head, bro. He says, how dare any of you fans keep them American vultures in that stadium for 20 fucking years? And I said, bro, I explained to him, I said, bro, our fan base just solely want the manager this, the manager that, the players this, the players that. They don't look at the board because they think it's impossible to do something to the owners because the manager is such an easy target. But they said,
well, look, maybe, Ben, what we
yeah,
need is to observe what Celtic are doing, take a leaf out of
facts,
that book, and go from there. They seem to be setting the example for our
facts,
protest to follow. So hopefully that's the roadmap that we're looking at right there to
facts.
implement that here. Now, moving on to the game, bro, what did
Yes,
you
bro.
think of the performance? I thought the formation, I was very happy with it. I thought Euro was the right choice today, and he had a good
Yeah,
game. He was up against it today with
yeah,
that
decent game.
Kafori, and I thought
Kafore, yeah, he was a
Dogu,
good player.
Dogu shone as well, man. He did what I wanted him to do.
Yes.
And it was, he pushed Luke Shaw in there. Luke Shaw's reasonably ball secure, which was good. Um, so what do you think of the performance, man? From me, I was happy. I thought it was one of our better performances today. I want to isolate the performance from the result. It's not what we want. I expected to get popped, and it was, as you say, I agree, it was a draw. It was a fair draw, but I thought performance-wise,
Mm.
um, team shape was good. We did have a high level of control, and
Yep.
I like most about this, the passing was crisp in quite
Yep.
quite often in that game. There was really good flicks, interplay, interchange, whether it was to retain the ball when we were being pressed, get out of the press, in the midfield to few passes here and there, and then the game opened up in front of us. So I like the fluidity with which we played today. That was the most.
Mm.
That was the thing I observed and enjoyed the most about that performance. What do you think about it?
Yeah. To simplify it all down, I thought it was a solid performance, but it just lacked quality. We just lacked so much quality, man. I thought both teams were lacking quality. I think it was just from like. I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan or a Man City fan or an Arsenal fan, it was a boring game in their senses because there wasn't enough quality on both sides. Like, the attacking quality, like Sesko should be finishing some of those chances. I mean, Cunha had a shot that obviously went on the outside of the post. Dorgu did actually really like. I think that was Dorgu's best game in a Man United shirt, man. I thought he did really, really well, bro. Second half, he sort of faded off, but like that's just what happens. Like, you know, sometimes you need to build consistency as a young player, bro. But I thought it was okay. The performance was okay, man. And look, I was a bit gutted that we didn't get the 3 points, man, because you know we did have chances there. We did, but I just think that both teams lacked so much quality. And Cunha, same again. Like I still see the same Cunha as what I'm saying beforehand. I still think he's being a wee bit too greedy. He needs to play the simple pass a wee bit more, get involved more. Diego Dalot was absolutely shocking today. I thought Martinez was really, really good as well. I agree with you with Lenny Euro. I thought Lenny Euro was really good today, considering he hasn't had a decent enough performance in these last few games. But shout out definitely to Lenny Euro. But I think Lamont kept us in that game, Bombay, and everyone needs to give Lamont his flowers, man, because he's a kid, man. He's only going to get better, bro. We just have to take it from there.
Good. Big up, Luani. How are you, brother?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Big up,
Good,
Lani.
Big up, Ben. Big up, Bomaye.
I'm snowed in, Lani. The New York snow's coming to Northern Ireland. The Northern Ireland.
It's actually.
How you doing?
Just looking outside the window, snow has started here as well. So there we go.
Well, good for you guys. You guys deal with it a little bit, huh? I'm not. I am happy to send it your way right now.
Luani, I want to ask a few questions packed into one question, just to bring you up to speed, and then we can move forward. So, what do you think? Team selection, formation, and how do you feel the performance was?
Okay, I'm going to start with the positive. I like the performance.
What do you like about it?
I like the fact that I was saying yesterday that we might need to match their aggressivity and the intensity. So I thought we did that for most part of the game. Also, I like the fact that they weren't able to build any momentum because we kept the ball also very well. And I'm not too sure if the absence of Bruno had to do with that. I'll just take that shot right now. I know,
Guys,
Bombay, I know you don't like it.
That's the end of the show. Good night.
No, I'm just kidding, man. Hey, you know what? That needs to be explored better. We did keep the ball very well.
We did. I was just saying that, bro.
As a team. And then we also we pressed them in the areas that we need to. They were playing at home, they were not able to build any momentum. So overall, that's a good performance. Especially we didn't predict that we were gonna win today. We say a draw was a fairly good result. But to look at that game overall, if we had a clinical striker in instead of Sesko, I think we probably win that game. We probably look at that game from and call it a professional performance, and we walk away with the 3 point, but it wasn't to be. Now, concerning the selection, guys, I think we have a problem with this manager. I will start by saying number one.
Before you hit number one, you did see the bench, right? There's one recognized player on that bench, Zirkzee. The rest are kids. You saw that, right?
Yeah. Oh, let's go over that. That myth of we don't have a depth in squad is bullshit. Bomaye, it's total bullshit.
Let's hear it.
Right. Ahmad, Mbomo, and Mazarawi are called for international duty, and Bruno, Delete, and I think one more. We have one more player that are injured. So that's 6 players. Maguire is injured.
And Kobe Mainu.
Kobe Mainu is injured. So that's even 7 players.
Yeah.
Those are 7 players that if they were in the squad, they are an integral part of the squad. And if they were there today, that means that 7 players that are playing today who have been on the bench in whatever composition you want to put it. So yes, the squad is kind of thin right now, But in general, for the whole season that we've played, taking the past 3 game out of it, this team doesn't have a team squad, people. When you look at people that are on the bench, the people that are missing today, and that we played the whole season with, we are not a team. Most team who are preferred to. We have a deep squad. Now,
Yeah.
the issue that I have today is, Dogo is a defender by trade. It's one thing to want to have to play him on the right as a right winger, um, and ask him to do right wing things. I can still put up with that because maybe right wing is closest to having being a fullback and being deployed high up the pitch like flying fullback and all of that. But playing him in a 10 in a 3-4-3 and asking him to do potential midfield thing is a monstrosity. It's not normal. Asking a defender by trade to do midfield thing, I don't know why. Just because you don't want to bench Dalot. I might be speculating right here, but because he doesn't want to bench Dalot, that's why he's playing him there. He could easily have played Dogo in the spot of Dalot, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But he's asking Dogo to do things that are not only his what he learned by trade, but they don't even fit his quality as a player. And to compound that, when he made his substitution, he took off Lani, who I know playing in the wide center back situation can be a little complex, but Euro is still a defender, and he took him off, put Dalot there, compound like almost 3 domino effects, move Dogu back into that right wing back before inserting Zirkzee. This guy is going out of his way to make sure certain players play 90 minutes and to prove to us that he have an agenda against certain player. He didn't have to take out Euro today to make the check to bring in Zirkzee. He didn't have to go all that length. And it's a shame because yesterday I said I would like to see Euro in a hole and see Cunha and our striker Sesko play off him, Zirkzee behind them, and the two off him, and that's what ended up happening. The journalists were saying at the point that, oh yeah, as soon as we concede, he switched to a back four. He did not switch to a freaking back four. It was still a back three because I see Dalot, Martinez, and Heaven there as a back three. And the only thing he did is just give the freedom for our players to attack a bit more. I'm telling you, this system, Amorim system, hates him. Amorim system hates him. I used to think that the system was the issue. But yeah, we can talk about the system and whatever the system has. But this system is it's a high risk, high reward system. You can attack with it. Our players can attack in a 3-4-3 as long as you give them freedom and you don't restrain them. If you attack in a 3-4-3, yes, you create the overloads with your wing backs and your 10s. And when the point of attack is switched to the flanks, you will need one of your DM to move forward to occupy that space, to be a little risky, which is what Bruno does sometimes. Even though coming back toward our goal, his positional discipline leaves to be desired. Because the only issue we have with Bruno being the one taking that risk is that Bruno is positioning and discipline, and he's also a high risk, high reward player in the sense of when we lose the ball in transition, we only have one DM left and 3 defenders left to cover our retreat, and he's not good enough. Because in that system, you have Casemiro. Now you're asking Casemiro to track all that runners suddenly if we leave the ball in transition. And you're asking 3 defenders to defend the width of the pitch. It's asking them for too much. And that is the risk in this system. But in attacking with it, I don't have any issue because the overload can be created on the flanks with the tens and the wing back, and you can have a third man, a third runner in a DM. Now, if you compare that to a back four, the reason the back four is more of a secure system is because
they're not
if you
stretched
lose
out
the
as wide.
if
And you
you
got
lose
one
the
man
ball,
over. Cover.
if you lose the ball in transition in the back four, you can still ask either you can still invert your fullback and ask them to cover if your DMs are up the pitch, or if you choose to attack with your fullbacks and put in the crosses and all of that, and you lose the ball in transition, your DMs that stay back can still move over to cover that space that's left behind by your fullback when they go up high. And this is the difference in both systems. We don't have any issue. This system is not the issue. It's the manager, the rigidity. He look at his own system in a very archaic way, in the point that he doesn't want his 10 to come into the midfield and be part of the build-up play. He rather leave them up there, and instead of having his wing back stay up there to create overload, he rather deploy them in a back five. So it's
But doesn't that depend on which phase of play that we're in? I mean,
no, I've seen enough to see.
Because in the defensive phase of play, if you watch Man United today, for example, I thought Heaven and Martinez were absolutely outstanding, barring the moment of hesitation from Heaven. I don't know how much I can blame him, the misjudgment that allowed the guy to go in and score. I thought he was excellent today. Him and Martinez, what I liked about them, bro, is not only how secure on the ball and choosing the right passes and comfortable they are, they were slamming into the Leeds defenders on the halfway line and winning that ball back aggressively. That's where the high risk of our game comes in the sense that both teams today, it was a tug of war to who's going to be able to push up higher and make the pitch smaller and press the other team in their own half. We had a lot of joy at that. They had some joy at that as well, where we had to drop back. There was a moment at about 17 minutes where Casemiro's on the ball in the first half, and it's such an easy pass, and he plays it straight to their player, and bam, they're away. And that's the one where Calvert-Lewin just toe poked it over the bar to Lamin's right. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
that's the high risk that I think Manchester United will play with in order to get the overloads, to get the control. But the difference is lots of other teams are very, very good in possession, better than we are. So it's just the nature of the beast I've learned with this. If you want to play high reward football, there is high risk. But the other issue with Man United is in the key moments, we're not clinical, Luani. Today again.
I understand that what you're saying, but you have to look at the games that we played. You can't expect to be clinical in all the games. Yeah, we could have accumulated more points if we are, but you also want to look at the space that we give to the opponent. I promise to you, it's not the nature of the beast; it's the nature of this manager. When our players are given the freedom to attack, they can build their own pattern of play. There is no issue with that. When the opponent attacks us, our players defend very well. But at the same time, with that, we are at the mercy of the creative player and the creative element of the other team. I'm not too worried about the way we defend. I'm worried about the way we progress the ball, because this manager is hindering his own system in terms of when he tells his tends to stay up there, and then he plays his wing back as a fourth and fifth defenders, and we only have two midfielders to progress the ball. He's killing our progression, our first phase play. You notice when we get the ball, when our center backs get the ball, or when our keeper get the ball, and when a team presses us, we pass to our wide center back, and the ball has no other option than to go over the top because we cannot play through the middle, and that is by design. That is what this manager has instructed these players to do. We cannot invert our wing back. We cannot invert them to participate into into the build-up, because that's not a function of this system. We have to either keep them up, if you are a manager that think about attacking, that is progressive, or keep them as part of the defense. And once they're part of the defense, or they halfway, they're not participating in the build-up play, you essentially nullifying them. The only time we see our wing-backs in action is when we're able to progress the ball beyond the first phase, and somehow we're able to get the ball in the second phase. And that's when you can see them having plenty of space behind them, and then the overload start appearing. But the issue I have with this manager is he need to change something in his instruction to at least release the system and release the players. The players are, once you look at our players, when you give them freedom to attack, they know how to pass the ball and create opportunities. And that's what happened to them when Leeds score. As soon as that change come in, because of a change in instruction and a change in personnel, the whole outlook of the game is different. As soon as Zirkzee came in, stabilized that midfield, that's about it. We start having balls in the final third. We start keeping the ball a bit more in the midfield. This guy neglects the midfield because of the personnel that he used, and because of how he think of his own system.
I take your point. Sometimes it is a little bit stagnant back there, but that width stretches the opposition. A lot of the time that ball does go out to your wing backs and it comes straight back to the centre backs, and we get bored watching Martinez to Euro, Heaven, Maguire, whoever you want. Yeah, I get it. Man, bloody hell, that is some wind, man. That is some wind going on.
Yes.
Let me bring Earth in. Evening, Earth. Welcome to the show, bro. I hope you're well. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself? It's snowing in Manchester, isn't it?
It is, man. How you feeling? You're sniveling.
I'm okay.
I'm
feeling a lot better. I think Nuruddin's got what I probably had a couple of weeks ago.
You probably gave it him on last week's show.
Huh?
You probably gave it him on last week's show, man.
No, I wasn't close enough to give it to him.
So, bro,
I wasn't close enough.
What's your thoughts today, man? We talked about team selection. What did you think when you saw the lineup?
And I have to say, Mr. Bombay, we see a different game. What we observe in the game is different. It's very different. Like, let me just say what I saw. Right, this is my analysis of the game I saw today. Okay, we're fighting a relegation team that's on reasonable form, but not on good form. And the way we're set up, like I said, we probably just about deserved a point. They could have easily won that. I mean, again, it's heart attack football watching Man United's heart attack. At the end, they could have scored. So, again, for me, it's always the same thing. It goes back to the manager and the way we set up, right? Now, when you watch the game, it's like we're cruising. There's no impetus or desire or a force to get hold of the game. We don't have that.
One second. Ben, do you want to just mute until you come?
Yes, bro. Yes, go on ahead. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we can hear the motorway, I think, in the background, or a car or something. Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So I watch us, and our back three, they're just in cruise control, and that's because of the way we're set up. Because like I said, until I see a change in this team, so we're going to change. So, my analysis of the game today was a very, very poor to very average performance, a typical weak Man United performance. Yeah. What it is we've got players that are okay on the ball, but you ever notice when we get past the halfway line, we stutter, we push it back because we don't create any overloads. We just don't pressure the team because we haven't got a guy to link up the play. And for example, it was so apparent today when Zirkzee comes on. We have the glue to feed the front two players, to feed Sesko or to bring Cunha in. We have the guy. Now, I don't understand why this manager cannot see how obvious it is. Sometimes I think he's an imbecile. He's a stubborn imbecile. And I hate to say it's about Man United managers, but watching the team gives me heart attacks because I think we're a mid-table team because we've got a manager who's just out of his depth. I'm sorry to say, he reveals himself every game.
An imbecile. He's a moron.
Huh?
He's not. He's good,
he's
bro.
He's not an imbecile. He's a moron.
He's getting gaslighted. Don't get gaslighted.
Don't get gaslighted. He doesn't. Can I just finish a second, please? Yeah. Right. So, You saw the difference when you have a guy like it was a cameo for Zirkzee today. He's a glue. And like I said, I'm not his biggest fan, right? But he gels the team, and we look so much. If he'd have started this game, I reckon we would have won the game. Okay, right? If he started, Zirkzee started, we won the game. Now, second thing is, like, let's just look at everything, right? You said Euro had a good game. Euro had a terrible game, in my opinion. The guy, he was getting skinned by the guy Okafor and Harrison. They had him, okay? He can't play the right. He hasn't got the speed. He was just getting run back all the time. He hasn't had a good game for me for a while, okay? Let's go talk about Dogu. You look at Dogu like he's offering something the right wing. Listen, he gets into great position. The ball falls to this guy, but what does he actually deliver? When does he actually make the right pass? When does he actually deliver? I just watched
Mr. Chaos.
I watched Frimpong today, right? I watched players who know how to put a ball, who know how to play on that side, and he's a wing back, Frimpong. I'm sorry to say, Dogu is out of his depth playing the position, but we got nobody else. But it all comes back to the same thing again with this guy, is we keep repeating the same mistakes. We look the same way every game, okay? Now, on to Sesko, okay? Sesko's obviously missing. He's not on form. But like Nuruddin said, Sesko is not an out-and-out goal scorer. He's not a guy who's going to score tap-ins and 6 yards. He's not that kind of guy. He's a little bit like a Zirkzee who's got more striking, more heading capacity. He scores more goals than Zirkzee, but still not striker-level goals. So again, we're watching this team today thinking it could have gone either way. I don't understand what this guy sees. I'm so thankful he was smart enough to keep the most physical 11 he could have when Zirkzee came on. He didn't bring any other subs on because the minute we bring subs on, we're exposed very badly because we have no subs that can play at professional level, at Premier League level. They're just little boys. They're not men. They can't play this game. I'm sorry to say that, right? And so we're watching the same thing over again. Now, people are happy. Like, I'm looking at the fan base and say, they're happy with this. I'm like, I don't understand how you could be happy with watching this Man United team play. I don't understand how you can be happy with a draw. These guys are fighting relegation. I don't get it at all. I'm watching it, and every time I come back to it, I'm saying to the guys, are we watching the same game? Mr. Bombay, are we watching the same game? Please tell me where you get your positives from, because I don't see any positives. I just see the fact that I know we're missing our Mbumo, we're missing Ahmad, we're missing Bruno. They would have got more over this line in this game. But my thing goes back to the same point. A half-decent manager who understands the Premier League could do a lot more with this team than this guy.
No chance.
And he's a stubborn, immature manager, and he exposes himself. But what
he's a coach.
Well, I don't give a shit what he says. We'll get on to that afterwards. I don't give a shit, right? Because this is where me and Nuruddin disagree, right? This is where we disagree, okay? You give the manager a certain amount of funds and ask him to do a job. We all know how our people at the top who run the club, we know they're clowns, okay? We know that we have vultures and then we have clowns, okay? Right? We know that's bad.
So why do we not talk about it?
Put that to the side. Because we can have a whole discussion about why the club's never going to change. Ben, I hear it from you every week, but you got to understand that the people you're talking about...
Bro, I have just been laughed at. I've just been laughed at the entire weekend by Celtic fans.
Yeah.
By Celtic fans.
Yep.
Saying that we are a shambles.
Yeah, we are a shambles.
I'm sorry, man, Bombay. I'm sorry. I know Nerd is not here. I know Nerd is not here, man. But
listen,
bro. I can have some hang on. Let me just finish. Just make one more wee point, bro. The manager, the coach just came out and said, "I am the manager of this team." He's not the manager of this team. Jason Wilcox is the manager of this team.
That's on the agenda.
Yes, I'm going to
ask you guys about that, as well as another point attached to that for your thoughts.
Right, can I just summarize what I was wanting to say? Yeah, right.
Go on.
Where I disagree is that I keep saying to you guys, a half-decent manager who understands the Premier League can do so much more better with this team. Now, when you guys say we're happy with a draw, this and that, you're not watching the same game as me. Your evaluation of the game is very different to mine. I'm sorry to say that. You know, we managed to draw against a team that's relegation fodder.
Can I ask you a question?
That was the easiest game we've had against Leeds for a long time. You know what it's like going to Leeds, yeah?
Yeah. What was your expectation going into the game?
I expected us to win.
Really, you expected to win?
Yeah, I really did. I thought if we do badly, we'd draw. I expected us to win. Okay, I've watched Leeds 3 or 4 times this year, and like the only problems we had in that game, let's be honest, was Okafor and Harrison, and they had Euro's number. Okay, and you saw them on either side as well. The pressure that Shaw got, because all you have to do is be low center of gravity and be very fast, athletic, and you can have our wing backs all day long. You can have them all day long. You can have them. Sorry to say, but Euro doesn't work as a right wing back at all. He gets skinned all the time. He had a terrible game, in my opinion. Okay, he's just not up to it. He's just not. And Aiden Heaven, I will cut him some slack because it was his fault for the goal. But most of the game, he shows maturity beyond an 18-year-old. But you have to understand that 18-year-old is going to make mistakes, like the goal that they scored. He's going to make mistakes. But he's playing above his skin. He's one of the few bright sparks. And obviously, my main guy, every time we watch Man United play, like in this game, we've got the solidity of Martinez. We've got the experience of Casemiro, who obviously gives the ball away too much, but he reads the game still very well, right? And we've got Cunha, who people say he does too much. He does too much because there's nothing else for him to do. There's no link-up play. There's nobody to get involved with. That's why he tries to do all this stuff, because he's the only guy that looked like he was going to score for us today.
Irfan, did you see any... I mean, we discussed the good stuff that we saw today from Man United.
Yep.
Did you observe any positive stuff, any good things that we did today?
I only observed positive when we brought Zirkzee on and we sort of changed the system. That's a positive I saw. That's why any guy who watches the team saw the same thing. You saw us link. There was a link between Sesko and the midfield. Amorim, Ogate and Casemiro, they can't do that. They don't know kind of players. They're not going to... get the ball with back to goal, one touch bang in 1-2 bang, and then we're facing and we're ahead again. And this is where, if we had a functioning team, our wing backs would be pushing up and creating overloads, but we don't have that. We just don't have that. This is the basics of that system. Now let me tell you something. Listen. You guys talk about you say it's not the system, not the system. We just lost. We broke a new record today in terms of away goals. Is it sometime? I think we broke the records for most goals conceded for 40 years away from home or something. I don't know what the record is, but it's out there. But the commentator said about we broke a record, but because listen, you're playing 5 at the back, 5 defensive guys, and how many clean sheets have we had this year? I don't understand, Ali Boumbaye, why you don't address.
Should tell Jason Wilcox that.
Irfan, you say if we have a functioning team. I said, if you have a functioning manager, this manager is not functioning. You said that Lani Euro. No. Ben,
that's above that.
I'm sorry. I'm not
functioning sporting director.
I'm not having this one on the board. I'm not having this one on the board.
Oh my God.
One at a time, guys.
The sporting director is not taking the training. The sporting director is not.
Yes, he is.
The match day squad. No, unless you have any definitive proof, I am not taking that, because that
we've already seen the proof. Watch the YouTube.
No, the only thing you can put on them is if they still tolerating this bullshit and the manager didn't get sacked yet. But you cannot convince me that they the one taking the training. You cannot convince me that they the one setting the tactic. You cannot convince me that they the one picking the team.
Let's cover I want to cover the rest of the game. Then we're going to go to the contentious stuff. In terms of individual performances, I thought there wasn't any passengers today. I thought most of the team had a good game. I know Earth, we seem to have seen a little bit of a different game, but I think that's
no. Hang on a second, Ali. No, I'm not saying that. It's our expectation. Your expectation of the football the Man United produces is different to mine, and it clearly shows in your opinion. You're quite positive about that. I don't see that as a positive performance. I look at this team and think we've missed 6 or 7 opportunities to get further up the table that were just glaring. We're never going to get this look again. We're never going to get this type of footballing look.
That statement you just made.
We've wasted so many opportunities this season so far because the manager doesn't know what he's doing.
100%.
Because the Ineos don't know what to do.
For whatever reason, every time we have an opportunity to capitalize, and even the results of that weekend go our way to climb the table, we seem to falter. And the inconsistency is just leaving us in the dark about what's coming next from half to half, game to game. That's fine. I think for me, as Manchester United that we all know and have grown up on, this is subpar beyond belief. That goes without saying. The blame you can lay and distribute wherever you want. Going into a game like this, in my mind, we have a team that is not a consistently functional team. We have half of the team missing. It's probably the better half of the team that's missing. And
The
we're going
creative
to
part. The creative half, yeah.
the creative part, even De Ligt, man, Bruno, the leadership, the experience, the stature, who the younger ones need there to help them along.
Yep.
And the players that have come in haven't necessarily been pulling up trees. Either they're back from injury or on not very good form and trying to play their way into form.
Mm.
All that considered, and the fact we're going to Elland Road at Leeds, which you're right, is a tough place to go. It's a false reading for me. What I could do, I could say, right, we're 6th or whatever we are, and they're 16th, and there was a lot of pressure today. You have to win. You have to win. It doesn't matter who's there, what's going on. You've got to win. Now, I have the right to do that, but I choose not to do that because I know the reality of this team is right now. We're talking about sacking Ruben Amorim, which is not wrong. I may not say, yeah, let's go for it, but I'm going into this game thinking, I don't see how we're going to win this game today because I've watched them play. They have the ingredients to hurt us. And I know that we're struggling to score goals. And is the team that we're fielding today with everybody missing going to be able to get us over the line? So I went into this game thinking we're going to lose. Your expectation was different. So what I got, and if I separate performance from result, I really enjoyed lots about that performance today. And the parts that I enjoyed is the shape was good. There was a lot of really strong individual performances under the circumstance, and we kept the ball really, really well and moved it quickly in the midfield. In the midfield, Lani, you mentioned before going wide a lot. We played through the midfield today. We kept the ball really well. There was really good passages of play. So anyway, with that, what are we saying in terms of individual performances? For me, I thought there was a lot of strong ones. I can't really criticize one performance today. Even Delo, I thought played his part, believe it or not. But the ones that I really liked, I thought Lamen's man is good. You know, I have no complaints. But Martinez was a rock. He did absolutely everything right on the ball. He's so calm. He picks the right passes. He never seems in a hurry. I thought Aiden Heaven, I agree 100% with Irfan. That guy is going to be hard to dislodge, man. He's really staking a claim now. So comfortable on the ball. Every pass is the right one. Other than
He's
that
18
hesitation,
years old. 18.
Irfan 18 and 1.5 mil from Arsenal, which makes it even sweeter. But the way that Heaven was aggressive and Martinez on their three in going into like the midfield and getting a toe in was excellent today. That's a big part of our game. I thought Ugarte played well. I thought Casemiro's passing for the first 20 minutes was shit. Then he started to get his thing together. Cunha today, I actually think was very good. I thought he did a lot. He got through a lot of work today,
Yep.
you know, and he brought a lot of people into it. And this might be controversial. I think Seshko had a very good game.
He's trash.
I think no, man. I disagree. Seshko today,
He's trash.
he was winning the first balls. He brings the ball down. He's got really good feet, good imagination. He was a big part of us being able to play when he dropped deep. And he's getting in the positions to get the chances, but he's just not finishing. He needs a goal for it to open up. But in terms of what he offers in a game like that compared to Højlund is night and day, man.
Okay,
Honestly,
all right. Can I just make a point, please, Ali? What you just said, Mr. Boumbaye, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here, yeah.
Mm.
You know, like you said, we've got problems scoring goals, yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think we are in terms of goals scored this year, Premier League, in terms of from top to bottom? Where do you think what position we are in terms of goals scored? Where do you think we are? Which was our main problem last year. We couldn't score goals. No. Let me ask Mr. Boumbaye, where do you think we are?
We're good.
No, where do you think we are? Where do you think we are? You said we've got problems scoring goals. Where are we in the Premier League in terms of goals scored?
No, I didn't say we've got problems scoring goals. I said that he's not scoring. In the critical moments, we are getting the chances. We're fluffing the lines in these last few games, if you can see. I mean, Cunha misses a flash header. How many opportunities has Sesko had recently in the clinical moments to score? And we're just not clinical in that moment, but the moment is coming and he's there for it, which is the good thing. So today, you saw the one that he had where Dogu cut it back to him, or Luke Shaw just goes to the side. I think he had another one as well. They had one chance, Irfan, first half, when it was a mistake, and they score a goal, change the game. These
Well,
moments
hang
are
on.
key.
That header,
You know what
the
I mean?
header. Remember the glancing header which hit the post? Yeah.
Oh,
Who-
Calvert-Lewin, yeah,
yeah,
Calvert-Lewin, yes,
yeah,
yeah, of course,
yeah.
of course. So it's like these moments, man, and once he starts to take one of those, and we get our noses in front, the game will change in our favor.
Mm.
We can start to do our transitional play, and they have to come out and stuff like that. We usually do good against the bigger teams because they don't set up like Leeds or Sunderland or whatever. You know, they come to push a high line.
Mm.
So we seem to get decent joy against them. I know we score goals, bro.
Mr. Bombay, we're third in terms of goals scored in the Premier League. We're the third most highest goal scorers on 34, whatever it is. City are
Yeah.
top, I think. I don't know who's second. Maybe probably Arsenal, but yeah, City got 44. Arsenal's got 40. We got 34. We're third in terms of goals scored this year. Third.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Mhm.
So
It's hard to
not
believe.
scoring goals.
It's hard to
It's
believe.
not scoring goals.
It's keeping goals
It's
out,
winning
right?
games. It's winning games is our problem. It's not scoring
Yeah.
goals. It's winning games. And obviously, our biggest problem is conceding. We're just like a sieve. You can just score against us all day long. What is it? How many two clean sheets all season?
Yeah. This is the
Two,
problem.
okay.
Last season we couldn't score goals. Now
Yeah.
we're scoring goals. We can't keep
Now
clean
now
sheets.
we can't stop conceding. We just
Let me
can't
just
stop
address
Just-
this comment to me.
Just want
Sorry,
to talk about a couple of things.
bro. Let me just address this
Yeah, go
comment quickly. Kadeen, big up Kadeen. Bombaye, please address that you think the midfield held the ball well. I'm saying it's because there was no Bruno. This is very no, bro. Listen, these are fair. Firstly, disclaimer: I'm a Man United fan. If
Yeah.
this team starts to rock and roll without Bruno, then we just want to rock and roll. Doesn't matter who's on there. It's not about favorites. It's about getting it right, enjoying and winning games, right? Bruno, man, is the creator. We are missing a level of creativity. You saw it last game. This game, it was good. We played well today. So this is our opportunity to observe what we gain without him and what we gain with him. Now, that's also a little bit difficult to do because there's a lot of important players out as well at this time. If they were all here and he was out, that would give you an even more accurate reading. In favor of without Bruno, because you got better quality players. But yeah, listen, today, man, I felt that we played some nice one-touch passing. It was quick. It zipped through the midfield. And yeah, I thought Zirkzee changed the game, man. When he came on, dropping deep, his quality shone through for sure. But yeah, go ahead, Lani.
So the two things I want to bring up, talking about Sesko, I advocated for him coming here because I'm guilty of watching a couple of YouTube compilation. But what I've been seeing from him is that I don't think he's even a Premier League level striker. He lacks the fundamental of a striker. His mechanic is all wrong. His body shape he almost looks like he's caught flat-footed every time there is a cutback. That's not a virtue of a striker. And you cannot build that with time. It's something that you learn in the very basic level at academy level, or it's either come to you naturally, instinctively. He's always flat-footed. And even for somebody his size, his headers are not on frame. He's not good at headers. He's timing to jump or he redirecting. I've barely seen him put a header on frame. At least force the goalkeeper to make some saves. It doesn't happen. So I don't think he's not blessed with blistering pace. At least if you have blistering pace, you can, run around like a Barry of Everton or try to cause a little trouble here and there, but he doesn't even have that. So at default of having that, you should be clinical. And he's not clinical either. His fundamentals are all over the place. As a striker, yes, we have he can drop in the middle, make some link play here and there, but that's not what we want for you as a striker. That's basic. That's a prerequisite if you want to play in the Premier League, in that phase of play, in that final phase of play. That's a prerequisite to be able to drop down link play. And Zirkzee does that better than him. But every time we start again, Zirkzee is on the bench and this guy is as a starter. What's going on here? The second thing I'd like to talk about is what Eran say about Euro. we've seen Euro getting skinned a lot when he's playing on the right side of a back three. And when you play with in a system where we play with a back five, I look at both sides, right? I know we've complaining also about Martinez last year, way before his injury, getting dragged out wide and having the same treatment. Now, when I look at the solidity that we have on that side, is guaranteed by the fact that Luke Shaw, for example, is helping out Martinez in that section. But when you look at the other side, is Dallo really helping us helping Euro? Because as a defender by trade, if you're a central defender, I know we're giving a lot of flowers to Eden Heaven, but if you're playing centrally as a defender, you facing the runners coming at you square. You can go left, you can go right. It's easy to shift. But when you out wide, when the runner with the ball is coming at you, you have to show them on the outside, but your body shape have to be different. Because if he cut inside, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to circle, or you probably turning on your weak foot, and that's a bit more difficult to defend. I'm not saying that Euro is a good defender. I'm just saying that he's not getting enough help there, and maybe it's compounded by the fact that he's not comfortable playing in that position. Now, we can also look at the system and the issue that if we surrender the midfield to team and we surrender the inputters to them, we also invite them to hurt us in the area where we are the most weak. If I'm a manager and every time the ball gets turned over to us, I know that if we isolate the wide center back in Euro, we getting some change out of him. I'm going to instruct my wingers or my strikers to attack that area all the time. So when we keep the ball, those kind of deficiency don't get exposed as much. That's why today, when we're instructed to attack after we concede, even though Dallo was playing on that side, we didn't see him get exposed. I'm not sitting here and saying that Dallo is a better wide defender than Euro, but Dallo is a fullback by trade, and he might be comfortable defending the wider areas than Euro, who's a center back by a central defender by trade, have to do. So those are the things I look at. But the manager, for me, is a big issue, because now we're saying that our team is thin because a lot of people have been called on international duty. But I look at the manager that is hiding behind the system, making the system rigid, looking at it in an archaic way. So he's trying to hide behind individual brilliance of his players, the hero balls by Bruno, and he's trying to also hide behind the athleticism of some players in the ability of Mbomo to run in behind as a striker. Now, that's why he's trying to use Dogu to compensate for the absence of Mbomo, because they're pretty similar in profile, they're pretty athletic. So now you have a manager that's hiding behind the athleticism of his players. He's hiding behind the individual brilliance of certain players in terms of Cunha, what Cunha can bring by his dribbling skill, or what Ahmad can bring by taking on players. He's trying to hide behind that. All we're going to do is complain that our players are not here. And when our players come back, any team we will be playing will recognize the danger. They will drop their defense 10 yards down or 20 yards down, and we will be daring our individual players in Ahmad and Cunha to take on their defenders, to take on 2 or 3 people in order to create a goal scoring opportunity.
All right.
We need to play through the middle.
Luani, big up. Some really good points there. Now, I want to move it on, man. This is what everybody's,
can we just have a little bit more on Sesko, please? Because someone mentioned that he is a striker. I just want to address that point about Sesko being a striker. Sesko scored the most goals when he played in, let's be honest, it's a pretty weak-ass Austrian league. He scored something like 27, 28 goals. When he moved to Bundesliga, he scored about 20, I think he scored, yeah. That goal scorer, we haven't seen that goal scorer yet. Okay, all I've seen from this guy is little nice touches of link-up play. I haven't seen a striker in this guy. I haven't seen. He scored 2 goals in maybe 16 appearances. He's obviously like Nuruddin said, he's trying too hard. He's just not there yet because he still hasn't managed to get to grips with what the Premier League is and how difficult and how physical and how fast it is as a league compared to everything else. He's always that second late.
He is
He's
trying
always that second late. Okay,
a bit hard. He wants to please. He wants to.
Yeah, he's trying very hard. He's a young guy. You have to accept that. Yeah. But like I said, I much prefer his link-up play than what we had with Rasmus. Much prefer. Okay, but we bought this guy to score goals, and we're not scoring goals. Okay, but scoring goals, like I said, Ali Mbaye, is not our main problem. Our main problem is creating chances to score goals. We just don't create enough. Because, like I said, it goes back to the same thing. The system's all wrong, okay? Right? We have, like I said, I say this every time. We have players that are too young, and we have players that are past their peak. We only got probably Cunha and Martinez who are at their peak at the moment. I don't think we got any of the players that are close to their peak. And you're never going to be a top team unless you have players around the peak, okay? So that's all I'm saying to you. But I don't know whether Sesko's going to come good, but Sesko needs guys like Mbeumo, Ahmad, and like I said, my always problem is that we lost Garnacho, but we don't have any action, any energy coming down the right hand side, the left hand side. It's all when Ahmad and Mbeumo playing, you see a relationship developing, you see all this energy, but nothing comes on the other side. That's another thing we need to address. So I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is that someone needs to get through to Amorim, or he ain't going to last long. I just don't see, because I can feel, obviously the fans are not happy. I can feel this energy bubbling from behind the scenes where they're not happy with this system.
I want to stay with you. I want to stay with you then. So, did you guys listen to the post-match interview of Ruben Amorim after today's game?
No, but I heard I saw the quotes.
Okay, Kliss, please. Can we start getting those quotes in? Here we go. Kliss, right on cue. Beautiful. Yeah. I came here to be manager of Manchester United, not to be the coach of Manchester United, and that is clear. I know my name is not Tuchel, Mourinho, or Conte, but I am the manager of Man United. So what is that? And wait. Two questions, right? We've been down this. We more than any other fans know, because of this revolving door of managers. When they start to talk in this kind of I don't give a shit way, so what? I'm shutting it down. What does that usually imply? And how are you interpreting what's going through Amorim's mind at the moment? And finally, is this a manager on his way out? And do you feel there's a breakdown in the hierarchy above him? Irfan, hit us. I'll stay with you.
So that's clearly a manager under major pressure, okay?
I'll just continue it. Sorry, bro. I am not going to quit. I will continue my job until the other guy comes. I said, until the other guy is coming here to replace me. So that kind of struck me. Is there an inevitability to this, or is he just putting that out there? Kliss,
hang on, read the rest of it.
Yeah. I said I'm going to be the manager of this team, not just the coach, and that's going to finish in 18 months. And then everyone is going to move on. That was the deal. If people can't handle the Gary Nevilles and the criticisms of everything, we need to change.
Well, hang on, that didn't make sense to me.
When I heard it, bro, I'm not quite sure how to digest that. Is Gary Neville? Is he saying if Gary Neville can't handle it because he's criticizing the way I play, then the club has to change because I am not going to change?
Is that what you think he said? Yeah.
That's what I'm taking. I'm not 100% sure, but you know what? When he's talking in his Portuguese, translate into English, you can get lost a little bit in it. But that's what I'm thinking, because Neville will come out in the Gary Neville podcast and he'll tear it apart sometimes. It's not always great. And I think he's saying if the Gary Nevilles and, the people can't handle it, then the club has to change. Is that him implying, I'm not changing? And he's already kind of saying it's either my way or the highway. And I've already accepted that in 18 months this ends.
So
what is that?
What's going on? Can I ask you,
Yeah.
Regarding this quote, do you think the majority of the fan base and ex-players and hierarchy are behind him or not? What do you think?
The hierarchy of fan, I don't know, bro.
Yep.
If we look at the pundits, I suppose pundits do what pundits do. The only way pundits get to tear him up is if the performances are shit.
Yeah.
If we're rocking and we're winning games, even if we're not playing well and winning games, it kind of changes the severity of the analysis, and it's not going to give them the bullets to shoot him down. And even if they were shooting us down, speaking in the plural, you're the manager, you're the guy that's going to be the fall guy. We can't change the team. You're the guy that we can change. You're the one variable outside the owners, the Ineos, the players that we can immediately change, and you're the most obvious guy for change and the quickest change that we can make, the most impactful one. So, to be honest with you, bro, the hierarchy, honestly, I wish I knew. I don't know. But that's what we're here to try and answer.
No, but on the rest of them then, the fans and the ex-players.
Fans is starting to lose patience. You can see it from the URT family. We all want every manager to succeed. We are pretty patient. We're not asking for a league. We're not asking for a Champions League. We're not in them conversations. But still, 15th, lots of people's jumped ship. It's their right to do so. What seems to happen, I think, is Irfan, you'll see something and you'll say, nah, I can see the future's bleak. I'm cutting my losses now. Let's save time. Let's save money. Let's use that time to progress. Then there's maybe a guy like me that says, you know what, Irfan, I don't know, man. Let's hang in there. I think
okay. Can I just turn it around then? Can I turn it around a second on you a second then? So obviously this conversation can go like, because I've seen a few of the other fan channels talking about this already, because when it came out, they all jumped on it. So I was driving home and I heard what other fan channels were saying about it, because obviously it's a bit of juice, it's a bit of something to talk about. But let's just step back from a second. Let's try and walk in Ruben's shoes. What do you think he's saying about what he wants from the club that he's not getting? What do you think that could be?
That's a good question. So, Luana, you can have a stab at this as well. Let me give it my shot.
Yeah,
and you guys in the comments,
we should look at that before we jump on.
That's a good question. So, is this an ultimatum to the board because they have perhaps the sales are not sailing in the same direction anymore, and they were, now they're not? Is he saying, I don't give a shit. I'm going to be obstinate. I know what my contract is in 18 months. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving without getting paid. Or you give me what I need. It certainly is on the cards that it could be that, bro.
So wait a second. So you're saying you actually answered the question yourself. You're saying that he's saying I didn't get the players I want. I didn't get what I asked for to play my system. Correct?
The players can certainly be part of it, but there's something that all of a sudden they're not in agreement because of the way that he's behaving. And usually he answers the questions. He does it, pretty well. Today he was just shutting them down. And when that kind of language starts to come in, Irfan, I think the fan pressure, they're not pretty happy. There's a lot of criticism, a lot of pressure coming at him now, left, right, and center, because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. This is a big job, man. This is the part where your experience and coming into these situations helps you. He's not been in these situations. He's not been at a big club. This is as big as it gets. And you're not walking into a City or a Liverpool where, here you go, Irfan, I've just won a treble, just crack on. It's a mess. So when they start to talk like this, and Nuruddin said it on the preview to this game, it starts to sound like, it's starting to fall apart and it's going to happen. That's what it sounds like. That's what I'm taking from it so far. What are your thoughts? And then we'll move over to Lawani. You guys in the comments as well, man. What are you thinking? How do you feel about this? What's going through his mind?
To be honest with you, I mean, before Lawani answers it, I'll tell you.
And Ben, where the hell did you go? Get back here, man. This is your bag. This is your opportunity to kill
No. He's more, because we're addressing the manager and the footballing situation on the ground. We're not managing the situation above, okay? Because obviously we know about the situation above. Look, he's obviously saying, I'm not being backed, right? I'm not giving the players I want. but he created his own pressure because they're all looking at what happens, whether you like it or not. There's a massive discussion in Man United world of world football and football in general, in English football, about the way this guy sets United up. I'm sorry to say, I just hear it every day. Every day discussion about it, yep. And I said last time we were on the channel, Simon Stone wrote an article talking about Amorim going to change the system to 4-4-2. It was a long article. And as I said, when you got client journalists who have relationships with Man United, what they do is their job is to write articles that are going to get traction, right? But they try not to piss off the club too much because it puts the manager under pressure when a massive organization like the BBC or someone writes an article that, you know, denigrates or besmirches the name of the manager. So it's a little like, I'll write something that gives you a little slap, but one ratio won't give you a proper big slap. Okay, it's just the way politics works the same way. And like I said, I actually thought that meant he would actually start changing his system because he played a couple of 4-4-2s like we did at Newcastle, and he saw the control in the game. I thought this guy was going to change, but as Lani shaking his head now, he knows, Lani knows, I know how stubborn this guy is, and that stubbornness. When I think of anybody stubborn, I put it down to a massive ego and a massive level of immaturity as a manager. He's got both. He's got a massive ego and he's got a massive level of immaturity because any smart guy, you wouldn't say I'm rigid to one system. You wouldn't say I'm going to stick to this. You try a few different things because playing football or managing is about giving yourself as many options in the what I call the footballing chess game of today. And this guy shows no. So tell you the truth, he's dug his own graves. He might not have their own players. He might not have everybody he wants, but he hasn't shown us he knows how to adapt the style of play and the formation. He hasn't shown us anything. And even when we get a little sniff of he may adapt, what's he do? He go back to starting back five again today. I actually thought he was going to start. So I'm
bro,
sorry to say, but it's all created by himself. This mess he's in was all created by himself.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So
okay.
Let's hear what Luani's got to say.
Go ahead, Luani. Go ahead.
So this manager is a moron, but he's a smart moron. He's not stupid. Basically, what he essentially did with this quote and his way of handling the press conferences recently is daring the board to fire him because he's looking to walk away with his compensation package. That's why he stated that his contract is 18. He still have 18 months left. He knows if they fire him right now, they will have to compensate him and his team, and that's what he's looking for. Let's remember how this whole thing started. Amorim got hired by Omar Barada. There's a direct line of contact between those two. And that was prior to the appointment of Jason Wilcox and Vivel. Now, let's go back to a few weeks ago when we all saw that video of Jim Ratcliffe screaming at Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox could look at him and say, you know what? This guy get hired prior to my appointment, and this is not my mess. But if you give me the authority to clean it, which my position state I should, or I have that authority, I can clean up this mess. That is essentially the reason why we saw a few games ago not only a change to a back four, but also an afflux of young talents, the academy players coming. But guess what? Because of the reactionary nature of Amorim and the fact that he have a thin skin, I'm suspecting that given the way the media reacted to everything, he went back to being a moron and say, you know, I'm going to wrestle back the situation and prove that this whole thing is still under my control. I'm still the manager. That's why he went back to a back three and he banished the young ones again to the bench.
Now, one second.
Yeah.
The fact that he went from a 4 and went back to a 3, does that suggest that he has managerial control over the team? Because some people are saying that he doesn't. They're telling him what to do. What do you say?
No, I would say that it happened. He conceded in a moment, and then his ego resurfaced because of how the media handled the whole situation. They came after him and say, you know what, did you concede that your system was the issue after all? And if you look at all the statement he made after that, saying that if he knew what he knew, he would have done 75% of the thing he did were wrong, and he would have switched it. But then his ego resurfaced and he went to a back three again. I think this situation is pretty interesting. And he's just basically daring the board to fire him, especially in light of today's statement. He's just daring them to fire him, and he can walk away with his compensation. He has had enough. The only issue I have is I'm looking at this manager and imploring him that the people who are paying for this thing are the poor players. They are confused not only by what he's doing, they're also confused by the statement he's making. Look at, if you were playing in that locker room and you read Amorim's statement today, you know your coach is locking horns with the director of football. What do you want to put yourself? Do you want to give 100% in the next game? The reason also I think that the fans are not on board with the situation is we know that the ethos of Manchester United that have bought many fans in the city of Manchester and abroad. What brought us into loving this club is playing front foot football and promoting the youth. Amorim has done neither, especially recently, playing the way he's playing, his approach to game and everything. The fans are not on board with that anymore. We lost a game to Everton with one man, and we playing a back six against Newcastle or a back seven against Newcastle in the second half.
Is he weaponizing it?
No, but
is he weaponizing 3-4-3?
Boumbaye, you know how this whole conversation started when this guy was playing 5 at the back against Wolves, against a team that's got 2 points. I mean, come on. He created this mess himself. The pressure stepped up to this crazy level when Gary Neville said it's the baddest of the bad. He said it's the worst of the worst because this guy put up such an abysmal performance against Wolves at home, abysmal performance, and creates so much pressure for himself where he's now in the spotlight again and again. Because you're Man United manager, you can't afford to make these kind of mistakes. So again, he's in his own washing machine.
I think what you're saying,
the funny part is that
he gives everyone else a get out because of his.
So I think, listen, what I'd say is this, guys: a manager that, as you say, Irfan and Lani, I think you make some really pertinent points there in the sense that if a manager is already trying to minimize the backlash and is playing a game of damage limitations in matches, that is a major issue. And the players will start to sense that, and they will lose, that faith in the manager.
But I don't know why. Hang on a second. Didn't I? I don't know where I got this from. Maybe you guys can put me straight. But somebody said today, I don't know where I got this from, that the players are saying to him he should go with a 4-4-2. I don't know where I heard that one. Maybe
I heard that. I heard that too.
Some of the players are saying stick with a 4-4-2, but it's not happening. So
the players know themselves. The players know themselves. The players know. The thing is that what's funny is that now he's calling names. Him naming Gary Neville today in his statement means that he's completely lost it. He's at war with not only the ex-players, the fans are already not on board, and he's it's a full-fledged war with the ball because we all know the ex-players only sing on the tune to the tune of the board. That's the situation that's happening now. And this guy, he won his war against Dan Ashworth because I still believe he did a coup to Dan Ashworth, right? But he's not going to win his war against Vivell and Wilcox. He's not.
But where I disagree with you, brother, is I don't think he's doing this to get sacked. I just think he's a very stubborn, immature manager who's got a very young coaching staff as well. They're just inexperienced. They're out of the depth. They haven't got the managerial experience to be managing Man United yet. You just haven't, And I think they picked him because he was the best one available they could think of. I think that was a problem.
If you're
No,
gonna,
the reason I disagree with that is that two things, right? The manager is always sandwiched between the board and the players.
Yeah.
As a manager, when you get to a certain point, you're gonna have to build a wall. Even if you have a disagreement with your board, you're gonna have to build a wall around you and your players, right? Because they're the one that are going there to fight for you. And if you can get them on board, it doesn't matter what anybody else think. We will seek the result. When you're hearing things that even the players are not agreeing with the system, he's alone on an island. He's alone, and the only recourse he has is to initiate a sacking. And that's he now is all about the bag. He's a moron, but he's not stupid. If I have to walk, I'd rather walk with the bag. And that's what he's doing.
So I'm gonna start bringing it to a close. Ben, if you want to give us basically how you're feeling about Amorim, did you see the post-match interview, and how are you interpreting his position at the moment? And is there a fracture, an obvious fracture between him and the board? Or Irfan, you put it in a nice way. You might want to just pose it again to Ben. You put it in a nice way.
What, the same question as in asking?
What did you ask me? It was a good.
No, because like I said, we're it's very easy to obviously vent my frustration with Amorim, but let's play devil's advocate and let's ask the fan base. Let's walk in his shoes. Let's say what do you think he wants from the club in terms of why do you think he's feeling the way he does. Let's try and think what he's saying. What the issues are, not what we think the issues are. Let's pass it over.
Looking at Ben's face, I see an Irish cocktail coming here. Go for it, Ben. Launch it. Let's hear it, bro.
Listen.
No, this is about his comment, by the way. You're talking about his comments, yeah?
Exercise the demons. Floor is yours.
Listen, Ruben Amorim on a stable football club. Right, in a stable football club, he deserves every ounce of sacking of his life. Man United is not a football club. We are a brand, people. We are a brand. Let's just get that out of the way.
Hang on, then. A brand masquerading as a football club.
Sorry?
A brand masquerading as a football club.
Yeah, no, it's a brand. It's just a brand. It literally is a brand. Like, when you think about it, when you ask any other fan outside of Europe or any of that, say, how would you describe Man United Football Club right now? They'd think PR, commercial, like sponsorships, all this sort of shit.
It's a business masquerading as a
It's a business. It's a business. Yeah. It's not a football club. It's a business. But anyways, Ruben Amorim, right? I've just said what I've just said there about, he deserves every ounce of sacking, right? Well, Ruben Amorim, after that press conference, I despise him as a coach because he doesn't do the basics. But as a person, I respect everything about him there. Because what he's just done at that press conference, absolutely brilliant. We have not seen that since... Actually, hang on. Ollie didn't do anything. Moyes didn't say shit. Ten Hag didn't say shit. Ralph was a legend. He exposed them. Van Gaal exposed the club by calling it a commercial club. So, third, Ruben Amorim, well done. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He exposed the living shit. He says, guys, I am a manager. I am not a coach. You are coach, Ruben Amorim. You're not a manager. It even says on the Man United website, Man United have recruited Ruben Amorim as head coach, not manager. So, when he's speaking about manager, he's not speaking about himself. He's speaking about Jason Wilcox, who's in charge of sporting recruitment, the plan, the tactics, the system, everything. This is why, at the Wolves game, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada is in charge of commercial PR sponsorships. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the owner. He's the boss. Jason Wilcox, he's in charge of this whole system, this whole, tactics, all this shit. Hence why Omar Barada and Sir Jim were arguing at Jason Wilcox. He's the guy. He's the manager. Jason Wilcox is the manager. The coach is the coach. So, when it comes to Ruben Amorim right now, if this was a year after Sir Alex Ferguson left, Okay, bye-bye, Ruben Amorim. Let's see what the next recruitment can be like. No, bro, it's been when did Sir Alex leave? 13 years ago now? We're in 2026, people. Give it a fucking rest, man. Honestly. And you know what, man? I know what all you want. You all want the Amorim out. You all want him gone. But honestly, I am gonna be coming back here 9 months later and saying to you, I fucking told you so. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't understand what planet any of yous are on, bro, by saying it's impossible to get rid of the owners. It's impossible to do damage to the Glazers, bro. Bro, I was talking to a chef today. He's an Arsenal fan. He says, bro, what the fuck are your fan base doing? Bro, what the fuck are your fan base doing? Says you.
Okay, I have a question. Question for you, Ben.
Go ahead, bro.
You said that Jason Wilcox is the manager. He's responsible for the tactic and everything. You believe that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Jason Wilcox talked about a game model. When you see us play, do we resemble anything to City's Academy or Southampton?
City's Academy or Southampton?
Yeah, do we resemble in the way we play? Do we resemble in the approach, in the deployment, in the tactic? Do we resemble anything to what City Academy? Because that's where Wilcox come from. Do we resemble anything to City Academy or to the Southampton?
He was a technical director at Manchester City. He wasn't a sporting director.
But he was Southampton. In the system.
No. The sporting director, I can't forget the name of it. Clace or Jamie or Shakarian. If you guys can put it in the chat, the sporting director was in charge of when Pep came in. It was the exact same. This is why Pellegrini didn't work out, because Pellegrini had like a different view to what the sporting director wanted. And the sporting director said, look, lads, I want Pep Guardiola in because he plays a 4-3-3. He plays this system. I want to play this system. Bro, check out your Johan Cruyff's son. He did an overlap podcast with Gary Neville on all that. And he said about Barcelona, one thing they've never, ever fucking done is change from any formation to a 4-3-3. It's always been 4-3-3, no matter what managers played. Even if it's Xavi, even if it's Pep.
It's called football and identity.
Yes, exactly. Yes. If Barcelona, right, say if Man United on some degree was Man United, right, and Jason Wilcox wanted, because we know Jason Wilcox doesn't like the 3-4-3. So why not tell Ruben Amorim, bro, I'm the boss. I'm your fucking boss. You're only a coach to me. I'm the boss. I want this fucking change now. And if he doesn't agree with it, Lani and Irfan and Bombay, then get the fuck out of my club. But they don't. So why? So why he's doing this?
Ben,
no. Just let me
hang
finish.
on, Ben. Hang on. No. Let's just pause your point a second, right? I'm with you, right? I'm with you because your overarching point about going back to Wilcox and Barada, because ultimately Ineos and them lot haven't proved they know how to pick a manager yet. They've failed. They're not proved to us they can do that yet. Okay, but we're not. That's the top tier of scrutinization, right? Of scrutiny. But the level that we're at is the fans are watching the game. Okay, we need to have both. I agree with you, but like I said, where I disagree with you is the nature of Man United football fans regarding revolution and taking ownership of the club. Like I said, when you're that big a brand, you've got all these what I call these champagne supporters and that. They don't give a crap. They're not diehard. They don't care about the club. They don't care. Okay, they just want to watch their little bit of entertainment, go back to their friends, say I watched the game, support Man United and glory hunters. That's a typical Man United fan these days. Okay, but that's what happens when you become a victim of success, of decades success. That's what happens. Okay, but what I was going to say to you about why I interrupted you is to say, look, the idea of just getting rid of a manager, because you don't agree with his system of having a fight between what your role is, whether you're a coach or a manager, and then sacking him, that's not reality, is it? That's not going to happen because we're not Chelsea. We're not kind of club that's going to fire 3 managers a season. We're not that kind of club.
Especially Irfan, if that manager is appointed prior to our arrival.
If we were Chelsea, Ben, we would have done that by now. We would have got rid of this guy. But we're not that kind of club. We don't operate that way.
Yeah, well, they chose to keep Ten Hag. Everyone in night and day can see Ten Hag was
Yeah.
never the guy. Was
Yeah.
never the fucking guy.
But
Nurden,
that's my point, Ben. That's my point.
Nurden talked about a coach, Man United head coach. We've brought in a head coach.
Yeah.
I said to Nurden, I actually challenged Nurden. I said, Nurden, bro, bring in any fucking coach in this world. I fucking dare you. But it's never going to fucking work until you sort out this fucking culture, this fucking environment, this disgusting shithole of a football club. It is a shithole because we make it a shithole. The fact that you've just said, Irfan, that most some of these fans are like all champagne, like it's all like class, all this. But Irfan, I'm sorry to say this, that's the majority of the fan base. That's the majority.
Guys, I know it is.
Yep.
You don't need to tell me that.
Majority.
Everyone's
and that's why this is why I stand right now. Sorry, Bob, carry on there. Go ahead.
I think Irfan is telling you that, man, to emphasize that what you've got, the experience of the protest at Celtic, big up Celtic,
It was
man.
night and day.
It's not something
nine
you
day
can
difference.
anticipate with Man United, because a lot of the people in the stadium, as Irfan said, we're here, it's a day out, bring a mate, get a box, whatever. It is what it is. It's just an entertainment thing. We're not really asked. We don't believe we can. There's no appetite for it. Now, the one initiative that I think is very realistic and can really have an impact is what Nuruddin said. Stretford End, 15 minutes before the end of the game.
Will happen. Never
Everybody.
will happen.
Now, that is a possibility.
Yeah, but
you
Mr.
get to
Bombay,
keep
though,
your
hang on.
to
but-
watch the most of the game. And
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
want
said-
to put that kind of pressure just on the Stretford
No, but
End.
you say that. No, listen. But you need to, just evaluate your point a little bit more. You just said, as a strategy, it should start with the hardcore loyal fans who are Stretford Enders, okay? Everybody knows the Stretford End is the hardcore Man United fans. Now, my point is, if they're not doing it by now, if they're not doing this 15-minute delay to
You
make
got
a
no
point,
chance.
what chance have the rest of the supporters got? What chance?
He makes a
It's not
point,
gonna
but Ben, this is what I
It
mean.
has
It's
to
not that
start
I
with
don't.
the hardcore, and the hardcore don't
but
do anything about
But
it.
you're but the thing is, bro, like this is one of the like I'm saying this right now. People, it's so funny seeing the fucking chat at times, bro. There's some fucking trolls there. They actually think I want Amorim to stay. If this was a Qatari ownership, I wanted this fucker gone since March. He deserves every ounce of sacking. In an ideal world, I am Ruben Amorim. I want this fucker gone. But I'm sorry, I am not being defeated. I am not being gaslighted. I am not being any of this shit anymore, man. Bro? It's 20 years. That's a fifth of fucking 100, man. I am now 25, man. I am 25. I'm closer to 50 than I am to fucking 0, man. And 20 years, bro. I was 5 fucking years old supporting Man United. That was the first year I went to my game with my dad, who was a Leeds fan, but it was Man United versus Leeds. Brother, I'm sorry, man. 20 years on, what has fucking changed with these bastards, man? What has changed? Apologies about the language, by the way, because people are saying language. Apologies. I'm just I try not to say bad language, but I'm Irish at the end of the day. It's hard to fucking not say it, man, because do you know what it is, bro? I just want my club back. And what I'm saying with the majority of this fan base is they're gonna get defeated again. They're gonna get defeated up there, bro, because up there it's what's all about, man. Because see the 2005 scenes. That was the beautiful glory days, man. When fans actually give a shit about their football club. But now look what we've become. And like I said, man, I'll bring this back again. The year of 2005 was the year of our beloved George Best passed away. His niece who plays in the same league as me in football, came up to me and came up to a collective of us as Man United fans and said, my uncle said that the year that Man United got taken over by the Glazers, he said it was going to be a dark times. It was going to be a bad move. And look what we've become in 20 years' time. And look, Irfan, I know you're going to say, we know what the Glazers are all about. We know what Ineos are all about. They failed in every other department. So why are we accepting this?
Because Ben, if you look, right, I understand where you're coming from. Again, I know a lot of fans that look at this issue from exact same point of view that you do, but I'm trying to explain to you that look, you can make those valid points, but I'm trying to explain to you that coming 15th last year, okay, obviously was a nightmare. That's when you thought there would have been massive cracks. You thought you would have got fans galvanized to say, look, we cannot continue with these Glazers anymore. But what's happened is Ineos have come in, and in their eyes, they've stabilized the club because you saw what were the profits? What were the
I
figures last year?
disagree. I disagree.
No, I'm looking at it from a different point of view. They've come in, and we're back up to 6th from being 15th. Now, if we were 17th this year, believe you me, we had a chance of changing the fan base and becoming more like Glasgow's or more like Sheffield Wednesdays or more like these fan bases like Dortmund or German ones who are gonna smash everything apart to make sure they got their club back. But sadly, that's not the case.
Just very quickly. Ineos came in, right? The second season of Ten Hag. Oh, the second season.
Was that Knight Rider?
Yeah, that was me. That was my phone. Yeah. That's my
You're all
Knight Rider
good.
phone. Yeah.
Ineos came in Ten Hag's second season, right? Ten Hag just finished Champions League football, right? Second season, Man United finished 8th. Man United have never finished fucking 8th in a long time. The next season after that, Man United finished 15th. And I know what everyone's going to say because the manager we brought in. No. Because of what these owners, they recruited this guy. They wanted this guy. Sir Jim spoke so highly of him, man, by the way. Spoke so fucking highly. This stuff,
and it proved he didn't know what he's talking about.
And like I said,
proved,
Ruben Amorim, he wanted the job, and it's on him as well. So I'm not taking away from that. But the fact that look, it's just why we love football. It's everyone's.
But Ben, you didn't answer my point though about us.
So carry on.
From 16th to from 15th to 6th. You didn't answer my point about it has to get worse if you want to change in the club. It has to get worse. It didn't get worse.
But Ben is prepared to hang on to Ruben Amorim.
Yes.
As long as he drives it straight to hell to force a sale. So look, I want to get final thoughts, lads. We've been going for over an hour and a half here.
That's pretty much simplified.
Luani, what is it? Go on, make it quick, bro. Then we get final thoughts from everybody.
What I want to say before my final thought is what Ben said. Let's call a spade, right? I get your rage against the Glazers, but the Glazers didn't come in a vacuum. We all know how they got here. On the back of Sir Alex Ferguson screwing over the John Magna and his partner, and this is where we are. Even today, some of our main players, our legends, are still eating in that pot. Now, the issue that we have is we all know it was job for the boys when the old structure was here with the one below the Glazers, Woodward and his people. There's a certain level of nepotism that was going on with the Neville, the Kieran McKenna, and Fletcher and Sir Alex Ferguson. But the way I see it is, I think the Glazer eventually they rode that horse because of how good Sir Alex Ferguson was. They rode that horse and took a lot of loss and went into a lot of debt. And to a certain point that they couldn't sustain that anymore. And they have to get rid of that whole system. That's why Ineos was brought in. And when you see when Ineos come in, it coincides with the fact that Sir Alex Ferguson was taken off the board. And all the Kieran McKenna, the what's his name? They want everybody that was in the pipeline to become part of the organization was kicked out. Even Fletcher was kicked out. He was viewed to become director of football. To a certain extent, he was kicked out. And I think this is a certain way for the Glazer to clean up house. I'm not saying that they are the best owner in the world, but what can we really fault them for wanting to make money or squeezing the last juice out of the club? That's why every single owner, modern football club owner does. Whether you want to go from Perez all the way to the Chelsea owner. That's what they do.
Let me answer that quickly.
This billionaire business, unless your club is owned, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Unless your club is owned by fans, like the Bayern, for example, or Celtics. Unless your club is owned by those fans, you cannot fault any billionaire that took over the club to want to squeeze every juice out of it. That's what they do. So I'm not gonna sit down here. I know what the Glazers are Just like scorpion or snake, they bite. I know what they are. But I'm looking at the structure that's right below them in terms of the Jim Ratcliffe that purchased the right to the football operation with his 25% acquisition. What is he doing? Does he have a restructure below him? Does he have footballing people in place? Because even with footballing people in place, with the right amount spent, with a shrewd spending, we can achieve something, which what we haven't been able to do for a while. Okay, so that's why I'm looking at every event that precedes this situation. We all know that the appointment of Amorim was prior to the appointment of Jason Wilcox and Vivel. And this is a situation where essentially you are asking, if you are blaming Jason Wilcox for the system that Amorim is playing and everything that's happening, it's almost as if Jason Wilcox himself, he's caught in a situation that he have to evaluate Amorim, somebody that he did not appoint. It's not hard, it's not easy to just come in and sack somebody that you have to oversee. But you didn't appoint him, actually. The person who appoints him is your boss. That's Omar Barada. That's essentially turning around and telling,
but he's not in charge. That's not the boss.
That's essentially turning around, right? And telling Omar Barada. That's telling Omar Barada that boss,
we could be here.
Just one final thought.
All day, Ben. Bite your tongue. I know you're not happy with
that's
that.
That's a big up to the Green Brigade. Honestly, they is what I call fans, man. Honestly,
completely different people though, Ben. They're completely
no, they're not. They're not.
Trust me, they are. Have you ever seen
they don't accept defeat. We will
hold massive Palestine flags in the audience. Have you ever seen them get fined again and again and again?
They have a supporters fund they pay in.
Glaswegian fans and Man United. Come on,
they have a supporters fund. They have a supporters fund they pay in, so that they keep paying the fans so that they can raise the flags. They're a different breed, and that's why, man.
They're not like the English fans. Come on, stop it.
That's why, you know what I mean. We respect and love the Green Brigade. Absolute big up to them.
They're a one-off in the world. The Glaswegian fans are one-off in the world. Never mind in Britain.
Yeah, Irfan. Final thoughts, please.
Right. So look, Mike, here's my thoughts of where we are today. Okay. From Amorim's point of view, he's saying you haven't given it. I think this probably stems from the fact that he's probably not going to get any players in January window, and he really needs them because he's realised when some of our best players go to AFCON, it exposes the squad even more, and he's thinking you're not giving me anything. So he's having a hissy fit, obviously because of that, because he's not being supported, and all the fan base and everybody else is looking at this guy saying, "Listen, you may not have all the players. You know, you did say that it's going to be a bit of pain because we're in transition, right? But you're not showing us that you know what to do whilst we're in transition. You're not showing us simple little things that are going to create stability and show you're making improvements. You're not showing us those. So again, it's the Man United washing machine again that we're all in. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you is that the only way we can get through this season and save his arse to a degree is we get the players back. And we're back to that situation whereby Ahmad's playing, Brian and Bumo's playing, and we have Zirkzee and maybe I don't know, maybe Sesko on the bench. So we've got a bit of a squad that we can deal with. Where if things happen, go wrong, we've still got something to at least compete with, and that's where we are at the moment. I think this does stem from both sides looking at each other. One saying I'm not getting the players for my system. And the rest of the pundits and the fans are all saying, no, you're doing it. You're not playing the game on the pitch with any common sense and any kind of footballing nous to let us to prove to us that you know what you're doing. That is where we are at the moment. And like I said, we're in an easy run of games, and that's what has exposed Ruben in many ways. And that's why he had those comments today, because he's under severe pressure. He's just under severe. He is the most unsuccessful manager in Man United history so far, as what I can think of in the modern era. He's the most unsuccessful, and that's just a fact, and none of us can get away from that.
Well, he'll certainly be remembered on that note, Irfan. Big up, and I think what you're saying there is the man is caught in a spider's web, and he's not quite sure how the hell to get out of it.
Yeah.
Lani.
Yeah. My last word. I see a lot of fans are positive due to the fact that we are sixth in the league. I invite people to look at the table and look in detail what we're seeing here. Aston Villa, shout out to Musa. He said, in order for us to compete for top four, to be guaranteed top four, we have to be above Aston Villa. Aston Villa is 10 point, I think 11 points. So that means we need to win 3 games, and somewhere along the line, they will need to lose 3 games. Now, if I look at Crystal Palace, which is 14, we are closer to them in terms of they 27 points, and we are only 4 points ahead of them. From between Crystal Palace, who's 14, all the way to us, there are plenty of teams. And I try to go over the game that they played, the last 5 games of each and every team. Some of those teams are in a forward momentum. We have Liverpool, Brentford, and Fulham. They have accumulated 11 points over their past 5 games. Some of them are stagnating. We are part of the pack that is stagnating. United, Chelsea, Sunderland, Newcastle are stagnating, right? And then some of those teams are in a downward momentum. So like team like Crystal Palace, Everton, Tottenham, and Brighton, they're still in the mix. What I'm inviting everybody to look at is, if you consider the season as a marathon, a 2-phase marathon, the first phase before the festive period and the second phase after the festive period, looking at the momentum of some of those teams, the one in which we are in the mix with, would your money be on United to have the endurance to complete the season and finishing top 4, looking at every other team, looking at the turmoil in which we are? So make your conclusion from there.
Big up, Luani. Ben?
Big up.
It's a big up, everyone. Free Palestine. Free everyone that's oppressed, man. Free disgrace what's happening in Somaliland. Absolutely disgrace, man. Fuck Donald Trump. I was at it, by the way. Free I can't really pronounce it really well. Apologies. The Bombay, can you help me out with it?
Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela. Free Venezuela, man. Honestly, fucking shocking scenes out, by the way. Absolute shockings.
They're only doing what's been happening for the last 200, 300 years. They're not doing anything different, guys.
I know. Well,
this is normal. If you know what's going on, they're only doing what they've been doing for hundreds of years. The British Empire did it, Dutch Empire, Spanish Empire, Portuguese Empire. They all do what empires do. They're gangsters. Yeah. That's what they are.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And solidarity and love to the people of Venezuela. If anyone, I don't know if there has been any deaths after the bombs.
40.
40. Oh my God! Absolutely disgraceful. 40 innocent people, children, dead. Absolutely dead. And look, like I said, I don't see Trump as a human being. He's Hitler in my eyes, and we all know what Hitler was like back in the day. He's worse than Hitler, man. From what he's doing in this fucking world, man, worse. And yeah, free Palestine. Fuck all the Zionists out there in the world. And yeah, man. When it comes to Man United, bro, please. Amorim, pick it up, bro. I need results. I need another contract from Ineos, bro. I need more pain. I need more. Just need more anger
Ben,
from
we've
the.
got Arsenal and
yeah, bro. I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to it. Yep. And I hope it just drives fans who desperately want Amorim out badly and solely want Amorim out badly. I just want them fans to like wake the fuck up, man, because I'm not being defeated, man. It's been 20 years, man. I'm sick of being gaslighted from now on, and this guy's only gonna be. These boys are just gonna be taking us down forever. And look, like I said, people, I want what's best for Man United, but I just can't simply see if you bring Eddie Howe, Pep Guardiola, your boy Antonio Conte, Bombay. There's just no chance that Man United are gonna be back up the top, bro. And I'll come back on to you, boys. If Amorim gets sacked tomorrow, and another manager comes in, I'm just going to say the first day of his new job, I'm just going to say, boys, nothing's going to change. We're not going to go back to the glory days. We're not going to be back to the glory days at all, man. Probably the best we'll ever do is top 4, and that's it. And yeah, but big up everyone, man. Big up Free Palestine.
Big up.
Let's go. Come on, man.
Big up Nuruddin for being the man. Get well soon, brother.
Yeah, big up Nuruddin, man.
Thank you for the quotes. Mods, big up yourselves. Did a wicked job tonight. For those that are new to the channel that don't know, this is a football channel with a twist. there's humanity and integrity involved here. We don't just represent and talk about football. There's a humanitarian aspect that is part of the characteristic of this channel that stems from the creator of this channel and the people on the panel. So if you have a problem with that, there's many other channels that would be happy for you to just strictly go football. So be prepared for things like, to hell with Donald Trump. America is behaving in a way that is a mafia, shaking down a sovereign country, kidnapping a president, and looking the world dead in the eye and saying, what are you going to do about it? This is unprecedented in our times, but as Irfan says, it's just colonialism, but right in your face. There is no respect for law. That's why this is unprecedented. America are moving now with disregard. Just thuggery and vulgarity.
But it's not unprecedented.
Listen to what I said.
They've done the same thing with Noriega.
They did it in Panama in the 1950s. This is what they do.
Right, Noriega. I remember that too.
They've always done this. It's just that we have a world that's got its head in the sands, apathetic as hell. They don't know shit about politics or history.
The difference
that's
with
why
this
they're allowed
one,
to get away with it, because we have a population of the world that don't know anything about anything. Too busy watching shit on their phones. They don't know shit about anything.
Yeah, that's another discussion. But I think the brazenness of Donald Trump today to say we are basically taking over for the oil, and that's it. And anybody else, Cuba's next, anybody else that thinks you're going to have your own alliances and sovereign politics is completely mistaken. This is an example of what is going to happen to everybody. With Noriega, there was a covertness about it. It wasn't this brazen
100%.
publicly.
No, it was a different. No, you can't say that. Different era, because we didn't have social media. They could hide it a lot easier in the 1950s. You can't hide it as easy anymore.
But what I'm saying to you is, Irfan, it's actually contrary. This is not about hiding it. This is, I'm telling you 101 in your face, do something, and nobody is. And the shame in Europe is that nobody's even condemned it. Nobody's going to rally behind it.
Because Mr. Bombardier, America controls every single power. If America bends over, the first country you pull out is England, Britain.
Yeah,
the second group of countries pull out is the EU. They control everybody. They've never controlled anybody this much ever before. That's why they can do what they want.
On the state of the world and how badly it needs to stand up. With that, guys, I'm just going to say, man.
I'm just going to say something, right? We've all studied history, and history tends to repeat.
That's sadly the one we haven't. Sadly,
and this look like dividing the world into zone of spheres of influences. It's a precursor to the Second World War, and this look very similar. And all I have to say is, even if this is not affecting you right now,
it's honestly,
if it's not affecting you on an every day to day life, it's going to affect your kids or your future generation to a certain extent. It's sad you think you live in an alternate reality when revolutionary are portrayed as terrorists, whether you believe they're narco terrorists or religious terrorists, and oppressors are portrayed as liberators.
It's a difficult time, man. What could potentially happen there? So I hope, you know what I mean, it doesn't go there. Bless Palestine, Iran, Lebanon, Sudan, Yemen, Nigeria, who was bombed 6 days ago again by Trump. All the people that are oppressed, man, in the Congo, Somaliland, man, that's a big, big shame. Very, very sad. Very sad. And you know what? Big up everybody fighting the good fight. I think we've reached a crossroads. The world has gone into a whole new phase now where geoeconomics and geopolitical plates are really shifting. And I just hope, the only good thing I can hope for is that Man United pick this shit up. That's the one of very few good things going on in the midst of a lot of bad, crazy stuff. Stay safe, people. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you hopefully on the next one. God bless. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Nice one, fellas.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. All right.